Okay, so we are on the Constitutional Committee. Congratulations, everyone. Now we will have to. Let me just put that there. Now we will have to vote on something, and I will have to give to Kathy her set of private keys because they belong to her. So I will. Oh, you're on Discord. Awesome. So I'll just give it to you, give them to you in plain text in a very unsafe way because that's what we do on CentroNet.
We killed Sancho Net in the last week and brought it back from the dead.
Unless you have a GPG key or something like that that I could use to encrypt it. Uh, but again, the worst case scenario is that you lose those credentials and we have to rotate them, which could be in another way interesting. Uh, And the worst case scenario, in the event that we might lose the entire committee because we are very unsafe on CentroNet, we could now roll it back and fork it at the point in time where we do control that consortium, which would be even funnier. But let's not go there. Okay, let me just. It's okay.
Okay.
It's not a problem because we already used those keys to authorize the hot
Great.
credentials on your behalf because I, in this scenario, I would play the bad guy who took the keys from you, even though I generated them from you, for you, and now I'm giving them back, but there's nothing really protecting you from me, maybe keeping a copy of it somewhere. That's part of the game.
Okay, I get it.
No, but yeah, so we used, you were playing.
Mike Warren in 2025, there's nothing protecting you from me.
Okay, I lost it. What was I going to say? So yeah, your set of key was playing the role of the delegation role. So we used them to authorize the hot credential that we minted in the past video.
I now know why we teach boys always to use protection.
Yes.
It's important to teach your sons.
Fair point, Kathy.
Yeah.
You're getting me
I've
confused.
been in the IT world for so long. It's so important. I mean, the security could be really, really bad.
Good news is we could, as an exercise, make you create new keys and we can rotate them to remove my set of keys and include yours. And then I would have no control over it, which could be a nice little exercise after the vote. So right now, what was I going to do? Okay, so I wanted to give you those keys, but that's canceled. I'm not going to give you those keys. We now can look at the committee state. So let me just show you. It's a query command. Committee.
You're
State.
not sharing a
You're not.
screen right now.
Oh.
No, you're not showing the screen.
He was being all private while he was getting your keys sorted out, but nice.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm not going to give her the keys. I stole them. No, just kidding. So yeah, as you can see, we have 3 committee members, 1, 2, and 3, right? And this one is ours. I believe this one is ours. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me check. Init cold and cat credential plutus.ash. Yeah, this one. So we have been elected by the community of CentroNet, and Now we can vote because we have authorized here, as mentioned, our hot credentials. And this is where we were at when you left. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's where we were at. So what we did in your absence, we did it live. We did everything live. So we minted the cold NFT. We also authorized the hot NFT after minting it, and we created a bunch of keys. Um, I think we're mostly voters. If I check, we have Ken Eric, right? Let me check that. No, that's in it cold. Let's go back there. We have Johnny as a voter. We have Ken Eric as a voter as well. Myself and Thomas, who never got back. So he's probably going to lose his position. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to read the letter to you guys. To the orchestrator, it would be remiss of me to not to confess that until now I had greatly underestimated your capacity. Against my expectation, you have carried each burden set before you with more competence than I presume possible. For this reason, you may now be regarded as one whose rank stands somewhat above the common herd. That being said, the moment has come for us to cast a vote as members of the Control Committee. So the first command here is from the orchestrator CLI. And this is the command that's going to make us build the vote file from the information that we're providing. So the vote itself, yes, no, abstain. We have the governance action ID that we're voting on. And we have to provide metadata anchor of our rationale. So why do we vote yes, no, or abstain according to the Constitution? So let's do this. So we have the command here, but we also have it in the tutorial. Actually, it's not on main yet. It's going to be, but it's not yet there. Okay. So first, let's query the governance state. We're going to look for it and see what's on chain. Nothing. Now that's interesting.
Did you kill Samslet already?
No, CentralNet is there. What? Okay, there's a governance state. That's a good thing. I don't know what happened.
That's good to know.
Oh, shoot. We have no proposals.
Oh,
Yeah, this happened last time too, right? We had to make one
Yeah, so I made one and we
and then
forked it.
deleted it.
We forked before it. So we have forked the chain before the actual governance action occurred. This is nice and not nice at the same time.
Well, you can quickly slap together a governance action, I'm sure, Mike. You did it before live, you can do it again live. The myth of Sisyphus is alive and well. The proposal was made and it disappeared, and you have to make it again.
It should be done normally. So let me just check that real quick. Query governance state proposal. We do have now a proposal on chain. It's an info action.
Huzzah.
Yes.
Well, we should abstain then, shouldn't we?
And if we look at the anchor, we realize that the abstract says I want to control everything for education purposes and stop bothering SPOs all the time. Motivation because I said so, and I'm going to lower every single SPO's threshold to 2% so I can control the thing. But I'm still hoping to test anything. Yada yada yada.
This
In
doesn't
a
sound like
very
democracy.
fast, yeah, it's a former rationale. Title says further centralizing CentralNet. So what would
And
you
that
guys?
passed in the past.
Yeah, well, actually, this is the rationale for this one. So, do you guys believe this is constitutional?
No.
Sure. Okay, so you want to vote against it. Do we have a consensus here?
I don't think I'm a voting member, am I?
Well, we could simulate that you are, but technically, no. It would be me, Johnny Kelly, and Ken Eric to decide.
So the question of whether or not it's constitutional is quite interesting on SanchoNet, right? Because the guardrails allow for this, so it can happen. But does the constitutional text allow for it?
That's an interesting question. We could go take a look at the Constitution. Because
The secret knowledge you should know is that Mike edited the guardrail script before compiling it and putting it on chain, so it may be a mismatch compared to what's in the constitutional text itself.
Yes, definitely. But the Constitution text is the very same or the exact same as the one we have on mainnet.
Which means that there's a discrepancy between the guardrails and the constitutional text. So which one do we take as gospel? I would say the text, and therefore the request is unconstitutional in the spirit and wording of the text of the Constitution.
Yes, that would be good.
But
Or
what's worse though is you've already done this and you have the control, and it doesn't really matter what we vote.
well, we do have some form of control, right? So we could vote against it. So let's say it's an info action. So he's probably asking to do it, I guess.
Yeah. In this scenario, we're simulating the fact that you haven't done it yet. It's already done right now, but let's assume it
Yeah.
hasn't been. So the guardrail allowed him to get past and ask for this, but we can step in as the oversight of people that are not just computers doing things and say, well, even though that was allowed through the governance guardrails, it doesn't match what's in the Constitution, so we have to be the final breaker of this and say no.
All right. That's a good point. What do you think, Mr. Canary? Do you have an opinion on the constitutionality assessment of this info action?
So first off, I want to highlight that I, as a Consunet CC member, I haven't get paid, which means my daughter have grabbed my laptop and it's occupied.
She took your resources.
Well, luckily we only need
I'm
one
out
vote.
of resources here.
Okay, so let's say you can't sign the transaction, but you could still vote, right? So we could say that our consortium, according to our charter that is available at some places on GitHub, let's say, says that half of us can vote or can sign the transaction if we have everybody's consensus, minus one, and the one would be Thomas. Yeah, I just made it up. So this is our rules. What would you say about this one?
So so in the spirit of the new document provided by Johnny here, the myth of Sisyphus, what is really what did it say?
It says that it's going to lower everyone's every SPO's threshold to 2% in order to control the thing, according to this info action. And it's also saying that it's going to do it in a very efficient, centralized way. And the motivation of this governance action is because I said so.
Yeah. So I will raise my concern regarding the tenants to begin with. Decentralization is some core functionalities of the Cardano. So I will say this is unconstitutional at the beginning.
Unconstitutional. Okay.
So I referenced the appendix guardrails and Ken Eric referenced the tenets. in the constitutional text body.
Okay,
So we have two citations from the Constitution that we can use to say no.
excellent. So, well, my vote would be it is constitutional because, and I'm going to refer to the tenets as well. That's making sure that we should not be too restrictive. And I probably, maybe, I cannot affirm or deny that I receive money uh, from the king.
IOG?
No, we're talking about CentroNet. Well, yes, IOG actually, yeah, they gave me the entirety of the available supply of this network, so this would be some form of so yeah, I believe it's constitutional because I appreciate the work, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to say all sorts of things that are unrelated to the Constitution because I'm part of the committee, and in on CentroNet I'm easily corruptible, even though I'm not saying I've been corrupted, but um,
I like the extremely loose interpretation of you can't be restrictive. That's a very nice.
I don't want to restrict this governance action from being seen as constitutional. And since it's a non-binding but binding
circular logic.
governance action, I believe that the worst case scenario should be an abstain, not a non-constitutional. So I'm
It may be an info action only and may not actually take effect, but it does say in the constitutional text that the Constitutional Committee can indicate what their position would be should this become a real proposal. So even though you're saying it doesn't matter, it's info action only and you should abstain, there is a use case where you can signal what you would vote if it became a real parameter change proposal.
let me check something real quick. Okay, so I just received the payment. Awesome. So I now have to agree to disagree with you. I think it's constitutional. Um,
Okay, but at the moment we're
and
2-1.
yes. So if I look at the charter, well, actually, no. Okay. No, I'm upset by your decisions, and I'm um, incredibly
Indignant.
against, indignant. That is correct, and I refuse to sign the transaction.
I see. That means it will be a 2 and a no vote, right? So we'd still pass, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Then we don't need your vote, corrupt man of money receiving.
I cannot affirm or deny it is a corrupt vote, but I refuse to sign it because you don't agree with me and I want to win. So I am not signing this.
That's okay. We can still pass a vote.
Let's do it. I'm probably gonna still build the thing, but I'm not going to sign it. Okay, let's do it. We're done with
I have
the
a feeling. I have a feeling that you're parodying some of the meetings you've actually had on the Cardano Atlantic Council.
No. I no, absolutely not. No.
Not about receiving money. Not about receiving money, but definitely about like the level of debate and argument that might happen. I would say there's certain perspectives that get quite heated during these meetings.
Actually, no. No, we all signed and
No,
we all
you're all very cordial.
we well, yeah, for one we disagreed on the outcome, but it ended up being abstain. But at the end of the day, we still got together with the same decision, which is, I believe, how it should be. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we abstained on the which one was it? The roadmap actually. And you know my personal opinion on this, so we had agreement and disagreement, but it was like 50-50. And that's when we had to vote our first abstain because we couldn't reach
Yeah,
consensus.
if you can't reach a consensus, yeah, you
Yep.
should abstain.
But again, we're getting off topic.
But in this scenario, we have 2-1 against, even if you do vote. So we have the consensus.
True. That is true. But the difference is, even with not reaching consensus, we all agreed with the process and we all signed the transaction. But now,
Yeah.
in our present scenario, I refuse to do it because I want it to be a yes, and I will not participate into this no vote because the um, person I can't mention who gave me money, uh,
Who did or did not give you money?
exactly.
Alleged person.
And
It, it's fictional, so we don't know, right? So possibly, let's speculate on it. Uh, so I'm not signing this. Period. Okay. So transaction tutorial. I will build it.
What is this? What is this? Is it a gnome? Is it a gnome or is it a Santa or what is it? It's a
Well,
horse.
well,
And what is going on with this? Does
where?
anybody? Ken Eric is showing a tin of something with a horse and a cart,
easy.
and well, he did it a moment ago. You'll see it on the recording.
I wasn't looking.
Mike is currently acting as the orchestrator of collecting together all of the required
Mhm.
files for people to sign in order to put a vote through on a proposal.
Yes. So I have to
The
put
hard
the
work.
governance section ID right there. The index is 0. It says it here. The vote is, oh man, it's tempting to put a yes there and see if you guys are gonna
Yeah.
sign it, right?
The orchestrator could be corrupt as well and put the wrong vote through. So there has to be a means by which people can check what the orchestrator has prepared for them to sign.
Yes. Actually, you wanna? I'm gonna do it.
Send the Seaboard.
I'm gonna do it. And there's a reason why I'm gonna do it. Because there's a way for you guys to see what you're going to sign. So I'm gonna give it a try and put a yes in there. Okay? You don't know. I didn't tell you.
Sneaky orchestrator.
You guys asked me, the orchestrator, who are heavily against your decision making or whatever what you did. So I'm still gonna try to stick a yes in there, even though you're using a rationale for a no, which could be kind of funny.
It would be like a Margot.
Oh man.
Here we go again.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that part from the video.
Just have the balls, Mike. Have the balls to say reality.
No. Yeah, dude.
maybe Kathy can compose this, because she's knitting in the background there.
Is that what it is? I was trying to determine what it was. It's knitting.
Hey, it's cold out in the woods next to this tree.
Very, very, very good.
This
Knitting
is
survival
this
material.
survival kit.
It's actually
You
a
put
funny
me in the
proof that
woods
she
next to
did.
the tree.
She did watch the video. That's good. That's very good.
I think me and Johnny are doing so good to derail the whole tutorial, and we are so good at it.
Okay, now I have to go back and find some rationale now. Vote context. Let's go with this one. No, let's not go with this one. Must have a vote context that's good somewhere. There you go. I can use this one. I'm going to modify it. No, I can't. Oh, shoot.
Because the hash has to match.
Well, the hash has to match actually the file I'm building. So since I haven't built yet the vote file, we could technically, but I don't want to get too much into it. Maybe just explain what's in it, right? So rationale statement, precedent discussion. So that's where I would probably put something like I'm against it because I believe that it should not be restricted for someone to lower the stake pool thresholds to 2%. I think that's fair for everyone. And I would argue about the lack of participation from the SPO. So I think that's something that probably only D reps should decide on Centronet. Yeah. And in
Side
here,
note there, Mike.
what's that?
Can I put it like a side note here? So this way of writing the JSON file, that is a standard, right?
Yes. 136.
129.
136
There you go.
is the yeah. So that's about the functional committee metadata right here. Should have a rational statement, precedent discussion, counter argument, which I could use to include my own conclusion, internal vote, and everything that we see here. So I can put the internal vote. So let's say that somebody else built this, right? But I'm the orchestrator, so I have to use it, right? So I have no, let's say this time I have no power over the metadata itself, but I'm still going to use it because I want you guys to believe that it is what the vote is. Even though I'm putting a yes in there, the metadata can say no. So I'm going to
Yeah.
put that link
So
there.
the only way we'd be able to know, because he's sending it across in CBOR, which is oh, hang on, I'm getting a call.
So I'm going
Could
to
you
try.
repeat that, Mike? So what are you going to do now? You're going to
What I'm going to do, oh, sorry. So the rationale of the vote, your
Mhm.
outcome, the final outcome is a no. I'm the orchestrator and I'm corrupted, or possibly corrupted. And so I disagree with you. And I refuse to sign this, but I still have to build a file. So I'm building a file with a yes vote instead. Okay?
Okay.
But even though your rationale that you provided to me says no, I can set the vote to yes with a no rationale because I'm corrupted. This is
And then
very
what?
this is very unlikely to happen on mainnet. I'm just saying.
But
Uh,
isn't it? Yeah, yeah. I mean, unlikely, but it could happen.
Yeah,
Or
someone. Yeah.
is there not
yes.
guardrails to do to prevent this from
Well,
happening?
as mentioned by Johnny about somebody or some entity that I'm not going to repeat because I don't want to cut this part as well, it happened.
Okay,
So we
so
had a
this
rationale
did
saying
happen.
something and the vote was saying something else from a CC member. Okay, but the only reason it can occur is because the people who were supposed to sign the transaction did not check the content of the body file before signing it. Or they did
And what
and they just didn't see all
didn't
that would,
realize
yeah,
what
that
the
would be,
implication would be.
yeah,
But
that would
yeah,
be,
what Mike's going to do is he's going to create a voting file that is in CBOR, which means that it isn't in plain text and can't be read just by looking at it. And he'll show you what that looks like.
yeah.
But there's a command that you can use from Cardano CLI to convert the CBOR into plain text so you can see what it actually is. But you'd have to know that that tool was available, use it, and check what was in the CBOR. And if you didn't do that, you would just be trusting the person who created your vote file
Shoot,
and thinking that they're doing it right.
I forgot to do
Okay, so
something.
because there is no actual guardrails for this, you should actually check if you are
Yeah,
voting, and you
you're
should check.
reliant you're reliant on your orchestrator for the collection of votes, right? Because the orchestrator
Mm,
is the person who's responsible for building the transaction for you all the time.
yeah.
So your orchestrator has to be a trustworthy person, and you have to verify that they're trustworthy by checking what you're signing. And you should always check what you're signing in crypto in any case.
Hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Awesome. Yeah, so right now I'm querying the UTXO of the NFT, the hot NFT that we have to use to vote. So I'm going to hot file because we need to spend it, right? Hot, how did I call it? I'm just going to put that there. So we have to spend the UTXO in order to be able to vote. And the only way to spend it is to have the required signatures from the voters. So now it should work. So I'm trying to put a yes in there. Oh, what now? Oh, wrong file. Let's try that again. Okay, we have a vote. So if I go into my vote and I check the content of the vote itself, you will get this, which is not great if you want to look for this vote, right? There's a command to look for the vote, but technically you don't have this yet because I'm the orchestrator and I don't want to show it to you, right? I don't have to because I'm corrupted. So I'm not showing you this. And you don't know yet about it because you believe I'm an honest person, and I'm not. So I'm going to build the transaction now. So I first need to have, okay, so the vote file is done. I'm going to exit this. I need the required signatures from you guys. Okay. And I refuse to sign it. So I'm not going to include my own signature. I need Johnny's signature and Ken Eric's signatures, right? And I can pull the signature from their certificate. So I'm going to do that. Or, yeah, so I could take it from their cert or I could take it from the datum, but it's easier from the cert because there's a nice little handy command here that I can use with the orchestrator CLI.
One of the orchestrator's roles would be to hold the certificates so that they could build
Yes.
these transactions on behalf of the people who are doing the votes. So it's reducing the amount of administrative burden that a voter needs to have. They just need to sign what the orchestrator's prepared.
Yep.
So the certificates themselves aren't the vote; they're just the means to decide, or the means to add to a transaction who's going to sign the vote.
So on the Johnny, there you go. That's Johnny's hash. And I'm going to get Ken Eric's hash. So these are the hash of the required signer that I have to include. Oh, it's not in there yet. In my transaction. So I'm going to copy paste it here. There you go. And if you look here, I'm building this right now. This here. And I need to mention the required signer hash. So whoever is going to vote has to be included in my transaction. So I need their hash. And I'm not signing it. Only Johnny and Ken Eric will. So I'm going to include both of their cert hash or their public key hash in this case. Put that away. Did I copy it? I did not. So let's go back to my terminal. There. So I'm just going to copy this and put it here. Voters hash 1 and voters hash 2. There you go. And there's no voter hash 3, so I will delete this. And let me just read it here. It says, right. So the transaction build command that now lies before you will then I should use the accent, right? The transaction build command that now lies before you will then will seem familiar in form, yet bears a far greater weight. This time you must spend the hot credential NFT, for it is the very token that carries our voting authority. In addition, you shall include all verification key hash of those entrusted with the voting role who are going to vote, since it is they who hold the power to cast their judgment. Their signatures are indispensable, and without them, no decision can stand. So I can't do anything without your signatures. So I will have to mention them here. But also I need to provide a UTXO to pay for the transaction fee and the collateral as well, because we're running a smart contract. So I can get out of there, go back into my tutorial, and I'll do a quick query of my UTXO. Query UTXO. DR. What did I do? Oh, yeah, the content of my payment address. There you go. So we could use this one to pay for the fee. Let's do it. And this one for the collateral. And there you go. Yep. And this one here takes the NFT UTXO from the query of the UTXO that I did of the NFT. So if I do ls, you will see here that I have a file that's called .nft UTXO. I did a query of the NFT UTXO from the smart contract address. Okay, so I have it include there. So I also have to spend the NFT, the hot NFT, to trigger the witness from the other smart contract that holds the authority of our hot credentials.
This goes all the way back to what an NFT is and why it's important. The NFT acts as the key, the thing that allows you to actually have the right to do the voting. As long as that NFT is being spent in the vote transaction, it is proof positive that it is actually the people voting that are supposed to, because they have control of that NFT.
Okay, now that's the interesting part. I've built the body file. You guys don't know yet that I've put a yes vote in there. You don't know it yet. Okay, so if I go in my vote, I do have a body file. And that's what it says.
And that's what the person signing the transaction would see.
Yes. But there's also a command that you can use from the CLI to see the content of this file. But I could show you something else. Instead, I'm going to show you what the Cardano Atlantic Council is using. Because we all kind of have our ways of doing this, right? So there's a little script.
You were so close, Johnny.
To what?
Oh, seeing what's inside the body file.
No, you
Oh,
will. You will. You actually will.
he's using a script for it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get the script that we're using. It's available on the Cardano Atlantic repo, right?
You too can use the Cardano Atlantic Council script. It's open source and available now.
Yes, absolutely. It is open source. So let's use it. Because
So that means you can use the CLI command, but you can also use the script to
yes,
see what's in the body file.
absolutely.
Okay.
What is the benefit of using the script over the standard
Great
CLI?
question.
It's much easier. You just run the script. If you have a body file, the script is going to check if there's a vote file in there, but also it's also going to validate the credential hash of your hot credentials. So if that file is anything else than what it's supposed to, the script is not going to let you sign it actually. It's going to give you an error output that says, well, this is not what I'm looking for. Because
So it's a validation script. It's not just look at the transaction. It also validates the transaction against what's expected.
Exactly. It validates the transaction itself, but it also doesn't validate for you the content of the vote file, because this is something you have to personally do, especially when you run the script from a cold environment. So it can't tell you um, this this anchor link is a good one. It can't do that for you because you're technically running it from your cold environment.
If you're following best practices.
Yes. So I'm gonna get it. Okay, there you go. And I'll make it, well, actually, I'll make it executable before I check the content, but I'll check the content with you. So let's go with 755. That should be enough. Vote.sh. So if I look at the content of this file, you will see that there's some variables. So the name here, you just have to mention your name. So for me, it's going to be, for example, Mike. And this is only used as an output. So it's going to name your witness file like Mike.witness, pretty much. And this is the file that you're going to give back. If you sign a transaction, that's the file you're going to give back to your orchestrator. And the name here, the path to your voting key. So for me, I forgot what it was. Actually, it's probably not in there. I don't have it in there. So just for the fun of it, I'm going to use another one. Let's use my payment key. It's just a simulation. It's not an actual vote. Actually, I'm not voting. So I'll use the payment key just for fun. But normally you put your voting keys, payment.s keys. The name of the body file you want to sign is by default body.json, but if your orchestrator name it differently, you can put the name. And the hot credential hash of your organization. This is something you're going to have to put it first, but then you'll leave it there. And then it's going to check the hot credential hash of your organization every time you sign a vote. But I don't have it. I don't remember what it is. So let's go into my init hot and look for the credential plutus.hash. I'll just copy it here. And then I will paste it in my script. It's a validation. So let's just do this. Paste. We have an example here. And in the example, it shows literally the hot credential hash of the Cardano Atlantic Council. So I'll save this. And now I need the body file, right? So I have it here. So I'll just copy it into my other directory. How's that? There you go. And now I have my body file. Okay. There you go. So I can run the script. Let's give it a try. Vote.sh. Ooh, okay. So it says, welcome to the CAC offline border script. I don't know if you see it well.
It's a dolphin.
Yeah, it's a dolphin. So it validates that the body file, as you can see, matches the hot credential. Okay, cool. And there are vote files in there. So it's going to show you every single vote because you can have more than one. I'm actually, I should probably make this slightly smaller like this. Okay. So we have one governance action in this file, and it's going to show it to you. So it shows you the governance action ID that you're voting on. Very important because you can have many governance actions. Are you voting on the right one? The decision, as you can see when you run the script, it says that it's a vote yes. So by using that, you could see that, oh my God, no, this is not what I want.
Scandalous.
Oh no.
Scandal.
But the anchor URL is the one you provided. And the hash is this one, actually, because I presume that it's been run from a cold environment. So you do not technically hold this file, right? This is something you have to validate yourself because you obviously cannot validate the hash of this file because if you run it from a cold environment, you cannot obviously go get it on an HTTPS link
But
or
what you
IP
could do
address.
is get it down to the online thing and
Yep.
bring it along to your cold environment to validate against.
Well, you could validate it online as well. I mean, like it's not.
Yeah, no, but if you're on that machine,
Yeah,
if you want to do it,
absolutely. So we now have total number of governance section 1, Have you verified all governance actions? Well, I have verified all governance actions, yes. Do you agree to proceed with the signing? Well, no, right? I don't want to. Transaction signing cancelled because that's not what you wanted, right?
And now it's time to get on to the orchestrator. Hey, orchestrator, you were getting such a good reputation in the correspondence history on the timeline, but all of a sudden,
Yes.
you seem to have turned tail away from what we want as a committee. What's going on, orchestrator?
Then actually, what you could do as a consortium,
Member can vote.
you, yeah, that's what I was getting to. Member cannot vote, but member can kick out that guy who's playing the orchestrator at this point, right? At this point in time, I would guess that you would get together to rotate my keys and to get me out of your
Hey,
organization.
Ken. Hey,
And
Ken, our orchestrator, Mike, has been acting up and doing things against our will. What should we do? Should we oust this
yes,
guy? What are we going to do?
absolutely. And this script works for every single file you're going to provide to it. So if you build a vote file on whatever governance action for whatever purpose, it's always going to check the credential hash, and it's also going to check if there's a vote file in it. And if there's more than one, it's going to show them all to you this way. That's an easy way to do it. The less easy way to do it would be to use the Cardinal CLI command. Okay, it's a debug command, transaction view, and then you're going to mention the transaction body file because it's not a transaction final file yet, and the name is body.json. If you do that, it's going to show you everything. And by everything, I mean like really everything. You got the vote here that we've seen. You also have the script hash. You also have the CBOR of one of the script, the CBOR of the second script, because as you know, there's the NFT locking script that's been run to trigger a vote, but there's also the credential script that's been run to check if the NFT has been spent to witness on your behalf the transaction and make effective the action you're trying to do, which is a vote. And of course, you have the required signer here. So you have much more information if you do it this way. But for not technical savvy people, it could be a little overwhelming, right? So that's why in Cardano Classic Console, we made the script because they can't really rob you any money because the orchestrator is building the transaction. So there's no way for you to lose money out of it because the keys you're using as credentials, they're not wallet keys, right? They're just membership delegations or voter in this case. And it cannot make you behave like you didn't want to at the same time, because if the orchestrator is attempting to authorize another NFT so he can take control of the voting part of your consortium, he needs the delegation role signatures, not the voter. And he would have to justify why he wants you to sign with the delegation role, right? So that doesn't make any sense. Yes, Johnny?
It comes that time again, once again, to
Oh,
remind you
shoot.
that you have real kids that still
God,
exist.
I'm talking too much. But normally, let's make it quick. You would have signed this, and then as an orchestrator, I would have finished the transaction. Maybe I can just like go there. I'm so sorry. I talk too much. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's enjoyable, though.
That's
maybe
why
I,
we're here.
maybe I can just finish with a quick going through the rest of the text, right? Because everything I've said is mentioned here as well. So when a transaction body file has been created, you shall forward it to all those who holds the voting role. Each of them must sign it with their voting signing keys and return to you their transaction witness, which is the file that the script is going to produce if you agree to sign the transaction. And you just send that file back to the orchestrator. This is unsensitive. It doesn't have to be encrypted. It's a witness from your key, right? It's like signing a message. It's like
Can I get
signing.
a witness?
Exactly. So once you have collected these witnesses, you will be prepared for the next step. And now we see here, that's the command that normally people would have to do to witness the transaction. That's automatically run by the script. If you agree to sign it, it's going to run this command. At last, with all witnesses gathered, you may now assemble the final transaction file and submit it. This marks the completion of a task once doubted you capable of, and yet here you stand, having carried it through. Well done.
Well,
Um,
But
I
I
mean,
didn't.
what actually happened was contradictory to that. But yes, if you've done it right,
well, no, I mean, like, he's talking to the
in this,
orchestrator in this.
we're assuming he's done it correctly in this correspondence letter.
Yes, yes.
What
But
was
I
your
didn't
question?
really catch because if you don't get the witness files,
I
and
can
if you as we did, the orchestrator was corrupt, and we got the file and we didn't want to sign it because we saw that it had both a yes and a no.
I will
It
not.
signed with yes on a no rationale. So when
I
we get the file back and we see that, and this is
yes,
when we will.
It's when we gather together as people outside of the orchestrator and highlight the fact that he's corrupt at this point
yes.
and kick him
Mhm.
out of the consortium.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's um when we change his key.
Well, I'm assuming this is something you would do hereafter, right? So,
Okay.
but in this direct scenario, you would just simply not sign or not witness the transaction,
Yeah,
and the orchestrator would
Yeah.
not be able to submit it on chain. So nothing would
Okay.
happen.
Yeah.
He's not able to do anything
yeah.
without a majority of signature, which was kind of what I was trying to do under your back. Uh, is it the way you say it? Under your back?
Behind your back, behind
Behind
your back,
behind your back. No, well, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Behind your back.
under your back.
Thank you. Thank you. That's not right. Okay. So, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm trying to translate as I speak, and sometimes it sounds weird,
This
It's
but
probably
okay,
it's
will
okay.
work better if I
I
wasn't here.
I used to
Okay.
say you're gonna be able to play with yourself instead of saying playing with this by yourself. This is something else that I learned and that I should not say in English because in French it sounds right when you say it
yeah.
this way. Um, but
Don't
it's
don't don't
not.
play with yourself on the workshops, Mike. That's not a good look.
In French we say
It's
avec, jouer avec. But anyway, just let's not. Okay, but
it's not polite. Don't do it.
It,
Yeah.
it, it
Anyway,
it's not
yes.
something to do in polite company, as you say, or
Right.
yeah, it's not good etiquette. Let's say.
So moving forward here, the orchestrator has to assemble the final transaction with the body file along with your witnesses. If he doesn't
Mhm.
have it, or if they're invalid, for example, which can also happen if you don't sign the right transaction and you send us a witness of something else, this can also happen, and it did happen, and it's very annoying. But I'm not going to go there. It did happen. So, for example, you would sign a former body file that you had before by accident and send me a witness of that file, then I won't be able to submit it. But obviously, the orchestrator would know who made the mistake and would get back to that person and say, hey, would you please sign the right transaction?
Lived experience, eh, Mike?
Yes, that happened. But, I mean, most of the time when I share,
Like,
I always
listen,
share with the same.
mistakes happen. You know,
Yeah,
there's
but they're just tiny mistakes. It's no big
yeah.
deal. Like
No,
nothing
it's not the
happens
end of the
without check.
world.
Yeah, it's just
but
could happen to me.
you do know that the fastest and best way to success is by failing fast.
Yes, because you get that pain in your head of having failed and then learn from
Yes,
it.
but this is
That's
something
how we
that
learn.
cannot happen with the script because technically you have read the content of the transaction you're signing, and you would provide a witness of that transaction. Moving forward, then, as soon as it's assembled, it's ready to be submitted. So you just submit it on chain, and it happens. The vote occurs, or it just doesn't happen. So there you go. We'll have it here.
Very good. And remember in future, Mike, always keep your thumbs outside of your pockets.
What?
Just to make sure nobody thinks you're playing with yourself.
Kennering seemed to agree to that. He was like, that was concerning. Okay, thank you for the advice.
It's an actual etiquette rule. Not thumbs outside of pockets if your
Okay.
hands are in your pockets. It's a real etiquette rule, just so people don't think you're doing something nefarious.
Why would people? Never mind. But
People are crazy. That's why.
yeah,
People
obviously.
have very dirty minds.
I always have my thumbs outside of my pockets.
And hopefully somebody
Finally.
else. Finally.
In the
I'm only kidding.
meantime, I need. Did you stop the recording, Mike?
Oh, I will. So I'll see you on the
But
next
in the
one.
yeah.